is going to share his insight on very, very important element of any event, exhibition, conclave, confex, irrespective of the format, registration. The first entry point experience of each and every stakeholder at the exhibition. So very important and going to be very useful. Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Vaijayanti. Thank you, IIA, for inviting. This is my second time that I am going to take a class about the subject that I also learn every day. So I am somebody who does a lot of trade shows in terms of registration management online and on ground. And I'm an event tech enthusiast by all means. And I'm going to present a few real good insights that I've learned over the years of my experience doing business every day. So that's me. I head business. I sit out of Mumbai. I work for a company by the name Dreamcast Digital Works Private Limited. We are an event tech company. I wouldn't say we are very Gen Z. We are a mix of millennial and Gen Zs. We started in the year 2009. We did a lot of different work. In 2016, we found our mojo, where we wanted to be in the event tech space. We realized that there is a lot of chaos in this space, and we would like to solve it with our capability and deep understanding of the subject. And we learn on the job every day, but we try to solve it very differently. Okay. So that's me. I'm an event tech enthusiast. I have been on the trade show organizing side. I have been a sales guy selling, space selling and sponsorship selling. I had my experience on that front as well. And when you're doing sales for a particular industry segment, Ritika and I used to work for the same company, different verticals. You say, okay, how much more space I will sell to the tile guys or the window guys and the others, right? So I was getting bored, and then I was looking at an opportunity which cuts across industry segments. And this subject, event tech for trade shows, cuts across all industry. It can be a jewelry show, it can be a construction show, it can be a real estate show, it can be a CIO, CISO, cyber attack, any kind of event which has people more than 200 to 200,000 is where our services are deployable, and it has its own layers. So I entered the space coming from the sales side, and obviously the keen understanding was that technology works when you have a deep understanding of the subject that you're catering to, the industry segment that you're catering to. We all know there are a lot of agri shows that happen in India, right? And that's like a huge, huge population that comes and attends those shows. Now, put the best tech and it will fail. So you need to understand the kind of show that you're giving your services to. You need to tweak your solutions, and you have to also understand the deployability of the audience that you're catering to. Now, just imagine an agri guy who probably does not use a smartphone, a farmer, and you're asking him to please scan the QR code and fill the form, and you will get a WhatsApp badge, and then you can enter the show. We've done shows where there's farmers come for those millet shows and the other shows where organic food and all of that. And then we learned that there are certain shows where tech is adaptable. For example, a Startup Mahakumbh or a India Mobile Congress, the fraternity of people from the industry segment that are coming in are very tech savvy. And that's where the game changes. Event tech is event tech. It's a broad perspective. But how you play with it and how you deploy it with deep understanding of what is the organizer's requirement, what are the organizer's pain areas, and the end audience. Now, an organizer deploys a registration tech company to make his life easier, right? And at the end of the day, the core is the end consumer. And there are two sets of people who come to trade shows. One who has given the money, and the others who are going to come to the show to give the money to the one who has given us money, and not me, the organizers, right? So these are all clients. It's B2B, B2B, B2C, all put together. And that's where that customer experience should be the core focus of whatever services we offer, be it tech, be it non-tech. And that experience will define the quality of the show and how the show grows. So yes, that's in just understanding. And then I also talk about ROI driven. A lot of tech, mobile apps are kind of, wow at times for organizers. But is it giving you the results that you want? Is it right now your show? Is it in that cycle of probably the 3rd edition or the 8th edition or the audience segment, that everything is viable. I mean, you pay me money and I'll make a mobile app, right? But the idea is that what is the usability? Is it the right time? What is the progression to launch? And that's where we need a lot of deep synergy with the organizer of what their intent is and how they look at event tech in their set of shows. Oops, what happened? Did I press something wrong? Coming to what I do, and now that's me, and that's the topic that I'm going to cover. We're talking about smart registration. Smart registration online comes from the deployability and the bridge between. So I have a quick question. How many people here in this audience are purely from the ops background? I mean, you look at the entire brick and mortar at the show, comes under your purview. And anybody from the Marcom team or who probably looks at the website of the show or the communications, right? Now, there have been cases and there have been a scenario where the bridge between the person who's managing the ops and the kind of expectations probably managing 50,000 people coming to a show, and the one who is planning the Marcom and the communication, the registration piece, the online piece, has no synergy in terms of how will it be catered to. So that's why the importance is that how you deploy your online also has an impact on how you manage your on-ground. For a deep understanding, quick example, our online forms will have entire Janam Kundli of the guy who is coming to the show. First name, last name, company name, mobile number, office number, address, and then next page, your industry segments, sub-segments, and then A, B, C, D, and then there are like 4 forms. And after that form is being filled, he gets an M badge. He gets a digital badge. Cut to if you have the same digital form deployed on a QR code to be filled online, it's going to bomb. It's going to fail because there's a quantum of people who are going to come to come on site and they do not have the patience to fill that kind of an elongated form. Deep understanding, deep learnings when we go on ground, when we know that the online forms are in itself, and that is data science that the Marcom team needs to keep attracting audience around here to get more people to the show. But it at times turns out to be a nightmare on ground. So that's the reason why I love this topic completely. I eat, breathe, live, play this topic all day in and out. Okay. I'll start with something which we did last year. A few people in the room will relate to it. We did some good work, and I'd like to start it with a video because it will give you a clear view of what we do. I know it was a little pixelated. I don't know why. But did you see anything? I'm sorry. Not really, but yes, to a certain extent. So this is a video show reel that we made from a show last year, Electronica, Productronica. There were 5 concurrent shows. Semicon, where Shri Narendra Ji Modi was also there, and Yogi Ji was also there. We got a quantum of X number of people who were going to walk into the show. And we wanted to solve it differently. I mean, everybody who has a digital badge will come to the event, will collect a physical badge, lanyard. I mean, that's a given, right? And that's a given at every trade show. But there were certain pain areas and there were certain innovations that the organizers wanted in terms of mobile registration pods and a lot of other things that we innovated at the show. And that decision and that intent came from the organizers. They said that we are launching 5 minutes, you are going to be on the shop floor, on the floor, doing business with your ex-exhibitor or looking at their products and XYZ service. Now, that was the kind of mandate that we got from the organizers. And now we wanted to solve it, and we wanted to solve it differently. So consider that you get down, this was IEML Greater Noida, in the exposition mart. You get down at the pre-function area, and your first walk to hall number 1 from the registration area, you need to be on the shop floor in 5 minutes. I mean, that's the kind of mandate that we got, and we solved it beautifully in terms of the video represents that, and I'll cover a few points in the next slide. So it all boils down to the customer experience. The registration on ground might not be the organizer standing in front of welcoming everybody, but it's the team that he hires or gives the responsibility to invite them, welcome them, and give them a seamless experience. The show might be great inside, some stalwart speakers, big booths, 1,000 square meters, A, B, C, D. But if his experience at the entry of the show is not great, he takes that mood and he takes that sentiment into the show. And that's where we say that whatever you do in tech, whatever you do on ground, whatever form factor you use digital badge, you use PVC badge, non-tearable badge, double hook lanyard, single hook lanyard, anything and everything should boil down to great customer visitor experience on event days. FAST is the name. And then there are certain key points that I look at, which is, so how about an analogy? How many of us have sat in a speedboat? Has anybody sat in a speedboat? Correct. And how many people have sat in a normal boat? Everybody, right? Now I know the thrill of speedboat and the non-thrill of normal. So it's just an analogy wherein I would like to say that how many people have traveled internationally? Everybody almost in this room would have traveled internationally. But how many have recently been to Singapore? Anybody? So Indian immigration, we have all been through once, at least once. Singapore immigration, so my experience, and we learn from the other industries, it's a fixed structure. There is no, that today there was an X show happening, day after there's another show. Immigration is something which is immigration. You cannot even compare from an Indigo versus an airline kind of comparison. That X company and the Y company and the Z company is doing a fab job by the quality of people that they're hiring. Immigration is a immigration space. You go to Singapore, so I went internationally and I was on a holiday trip and I went to Singapore, Bali and Vietnam. They all have processes of DIY immigration processes. Singapore was like a breeze. And it was like a breeze where there are security guys, the immigration officers standing across, and there is facial recognition and there's another level of recognition that they do, and then you're out. And then you're in Singapore. It's simple. I was expecting the same experience in Bali, and I was stranded for 45 minutes. So what is the kind of experience that you want to give? A nation is inviting you, you're going on holidays, and your mood is boom. Because you're waiting standard 45 minutes because the DIY system was not working, the turnstile was not opening, it was not recognizing my face, or probably it was not recognizing my visa, passport, A, B, C, or probably the online visa, whatever they want to, the disclaimers that they want to, whether you have taken the X test, Y test, whatever. The technology is there, but it failed. It sets the tone of, and it's exactly the same when it comes to our trade shows. You go to X show, you go to Y show, you go to A, B, C show. Your experience starts from the moment you're there at the show. And that has to be a breeze. So the mindset has to change. Event tech, yes, but it has to be an hospitality mindset. Your check-ins at hotels are world class. You go to JWCC, it's brilliant. The security check is also amazing. And we can talk about a lot of venues, lot of places, fixed venues. The challenge goes to the next level when you're talking about going to a venue, setting up everything for those 5 days, and giving the same kind of experience. Now that's where we want to, make the impact. So we talk about seamless, fast, and robust check-in points. Like I said, this is where you know that you've done things right on the online front, where you're doing the ticketing bit. When the guy walks in, you've done the right round of reminders. The guy has the QR code of the event to get his physical badge. right on the top of his WhatsApp or maybe email, right on the top of his mind. He knows that, oh, I got a message from Startup Mahakam in the morning. So I know I'm secured. I don't have to search and probably, bother or call my secretary, oh, where is my badge? Where is my badge? So you do things right online. That definitely supports your on-site. Meticulous planning and synergy, pre-event, understanding peak hours. Every show will come with its own DNA. You cannot compare any show. Absolutely no. Same set of crowd, 100,000, different challenges. Because the industry segment is different, the audience is different, your online communication channel would have been different. Probably WhatsApp was sent, but it didn't get delivered. Emails went to junk, which nobody can control. Or probably the QR code is not loading. I have the email, but the QR code is not loading. And A, B, C, and the list will go on. Decentralization of check-in points in my last video, you must have seen. We have these very smart mobile devices. So when we entered this market, we all must have seen laptops and printers at registration desks. Yes? Yes, a little bit of more participation. It turns out to be a little monologue. So when we entered this market, we wanted to make it mobile. And it's a learning from the digital age, the age that we are in today. How many of us, when we want to book a ticket on Book My Show for a movie, actually open the link on a laptop? Please. Anybody who is millennial or Gen X, please. Oh, Vaijanti, we both are of the same age. I mean, same school of thought. But yes, so we are also talking about the mobile first mentality. Your Book My Show tickets, whether on an app, whether on a web, your event tickets booked on through Instagram links, has to be mobile first. And that's where we talk about, we wanted to disrupt it by getting handheld devices which are mobile. Small EDC kind of size machines. We've all seen credit card machines, which prints a thermal sticker and gets pasted on a badge. No printer, no fixed registration desk, although it's always a journey. I mean, I would never recommend a large organizer to say, no registration desk. The floaters are roaming in the market and people don't know where to get their batches from. So there's a semi-structure to it where we are talking about decentralization. We are talking about, we deployed floaters at the Semicon show where in the pre-function area, if you're a visitor and you already have a QR code, which is being asked to, you have already registered for the event, you can get your badge on the run. You don't have to go and stand in a queue. Point number one. Point number two, shuttles. I mean, IML, Botanical Garden, and a lot of other shows have these shuttle services for their visitors, BKC to NESCO, Dahisar to BKC and wherever, basis the size of the show. So why not, I mean, if it's a 60 people shuttle, why not give them their badges in the shuttle itself? Why do you want them to come and stand in the queue? Why? The only reason that was is because printers, deployment. So we changed the deployment style. We disrupted the market and we get a lot of happiness when we see that other service providers also try to cope with this fact that now registrations can be mobile. Metro stations we've deployed airports. You have your welcome and then you have those buses where you're getting them to the venue. Why not have a desk? I mean, you pay for the branding at the airport. Speak to the airport guys authority and get a desk for yourself. Everybody who's coming to your show, and if it's like truckloads of international guys coming for a show like 𝐊𝐲𝐴 where people actually fly from different places, an international show, why not? I mean, you should have those services at airports as well. And parking lots. I mean, parking lots like an in-orbit or like any large-scale space has huge parking like the NASA parking. Give them their badges there. I mean, they don't need to come and stand and make that pre-function registration desk like the biggest nightmare of their. I mean, it's like a nightmare when you see the kind of crowd that you see. So yes. And then everything comes to cost. I mean, I would give you 100 ideas. And then I would still have the capacity and audacity to getting rejections of whatever I get on the cost run. And then I would say 101st idea. We can do this as well, right? So your options should be frugal. They should be optimized in terms of how much cost, what is the cost versus deployment benefit, and what is what you're solving by deploying it differently, and the technology that you're using. Very important for the on-site bit is also the documentation of SOPs. For the larger subjects in on ground, we have a lot of SOPs, right? Everything is documented. The security agency has the documentation, the trust guy, the lighting guy, the carpet guy. What happens to the registration guy, man? No SOPs. Only one mandate. It has to be, the only SOP is it has to be hassle-free. That's it. So it's paramount that the partner who comes on board for a large trade show sits with the organizer and builds those SOPs basis the expectations that they have. And that's the real truth of smart registration and on-site management if you want to do it right. Simple example. Yeah, please. Sure. Yeah, no, go ahead, please.
Trying to absorb the unique disruption model which you have when it comes to check-in point.
Yeah.
Let's say we have an exhibition which is
Check.
Yeah.
So let me repeat myself. So basically, what I understand is.
Sorry to interrupt. I would also want you to introduce yourself so that I know.
So my name is 𝐕𝐲𝐻𝐿. I'm the co-founder and director for a company called IB Forum. We're based out of Bangalore. So what I understand is you're trying to change the model which exists right now and disrupt the check-in process which happens usually in exhibitions and everything.
Right.
Now, taking an example, let's say we have an exhibition which is based on strict invitation basis, right? And it's a large scale. Let's say we have 5,000 people.
Sure.
And I like the idea, the machine which you have, which you usually pay, for when you go anywhere and just swipe your card. Now, what is the mechanism you have at the similar situation where you have the PVs, that machine which you get the batch printed, the QR code, to verify the identity of the individual at the same time? Because you have deployed people at different points, and we inform all the delegates that probably you come to the airport, you'll have our desk, or probably you're walking into the exhibition and somebody's on the run just checking the QR code and printing the badge and putting it on the lanyard and giving it to you.
Sure.
So what is the mechanism of verifying that individual?
Verifying that 𝐕𝐲𝐻𝐿 is 𝐕𝐲𝐻𝐿.
Yeah.
That's where the question is. All right. So if I'm getting it correct, there were two parts to the question. One was an by-invite event. That is a very different format in terms of. So a by-invite, like we do a lot of by-invite events, where the organizer says that if this guy does not fit into my parameters of the right audience for my show, pure B2B by-invite show where even if somebody is saying that after 6 months I'm going to start this business, he's not allowed in the show. Correct. So technically, first part of the question is that we do create custom approval systems where 10,000 people would register for an event because it's like a very good event. For example, a TEDx, ticketed, non-ticketed. But yes, the organizer decides that I want to maintain insane quality in my show where not a single guy who goes to any of my sponsors is non-relevant or does not have a buying capacity or ABC. We have a very simple backend approval system where the details would come in, the payment would come in, and the organizer has a QC team who would then reject or approve the participation. Point number one. Solves half of the question. Second question, I booked a ticket, 𝐕𝐲𝐻𝐿, for your by-invite event. And last moment, there was some change that happened. And I couldn't go. So what I do smartly is, I give my QR code to my colleague Anshul. And say, dude, we have paid. Go. Attend. And now, he's not the guy who will be able to procure anything because I am the head of the business, for example. Now, you wanted me. So then that's where the online and the on-site marriage happens, where at the time of getting the form filled and the approval system, you take the picture of the person. You ask him to upload his picture, which on our smart handheld devices, when I would scan your QR code, or if we also do face recognition through FR terminal, it would match your face, or it would at least. So the first step is, I registered, I came to the event, when the volunteer, the team, scans that QR code, it would display my picture on the device.
On the device which you have?
Yes.
The mobile device?
Yes. Whether the one that prints or whether the one that just checks without printing. Second, deeper option is that the face, we have also generated QR codes, but your face is your ticket to the, That's where we get the photographs uploaded on the online form. And that's where you will not have replacements. In spite of putting all these processes in place, users would request that, okay, I am also from the same organization, I'm the right audience, and I'm probably a level above or a level down or whatever. And then the organizer still has the power that if he wants to allow, he can, basis the name change and the identity change, he can deactivate the previous one and activate the new one.
See now okay. I'm just thinking from a logical standpoint.
Sure.
Now, obviously, as an organizer, I'm going to hire somebody who manages the registration process. Why do I have to be there to verify whether this individual is the person I have actually invited? I would allow that trust on the person who is managing the registration area.
100%.
Now, if a person is, usually what happens in the real-time scenario is when a person comes to the registration desk, we have the information on our system.
Absolutely.
Right? Simultaneously, I'm scanning the QR code. The moment I scan the QR code, I use a company who, the software which we use, it gives all the information from me right in front of me, right? So I don't have to, again, call an organizer to verify that this is the person.
No, absolutely. So when I spoke about this as a part, everything is automated. But if there are cases where the organizer decides that I am going to take the final call, so standard process.
I'm not even going to the last step. I'm still in the first step, where I got a walk-in delegate with the QR code, and he's like, this is my QR code.
Sure.
I take the mobile device which you have, and I scan it. I just print it and give it to him. But what I have failed to understand now is, sorry to say that, but I'm not able to understand how are you confirming that this is the person.
So one part is that he has a QR code, which is a bona fide QR code, which is being sent
that can
to my
be
system.
misused.
Can't be.
It can be, because a lot of people come just with the QR code saying that this is what I have and this is the registration. Probably as your example which you gave, that they give it to my colleague and he's just...
So coming to the second layer, correct. When I have taken your photograph on the system and I scan your QR code, all your entire information that I've taken on the online form is visible on my screen. Now, if you are not the same person...
Okay, so what I understand then is, it's not the process of the free flow. You mentioned somewhere that, on the go, you're just scanning the device, but you're actually sitting at a registration desk.
Not necessarily a registration desk. I have a device which is right in my hand, and I have a process where I have 4 lanes and then 4 people are standing here. And everybody who passes through, and probably there are queue managers, which brings order to the flow of the crowd, where everybody can cater. It's very simple that you walk, it's your identity matches, your face and the photo that I see on the system is great. I would hit print. If it's not, I would say, sir, please step aside. You're not the same person. The only difference here is that, like I said, that every event requirement will be solved differently. Now, if this is a very,
unless you identify the elephant in the room. So, for example, when you have a challenge, it's a challenge which you don't have a solution to. My only thought process was running was, I'm just walking into the exhibition and I just show the QR code. Somebody is like around me with a mobile device and just scanning a QR code and giving. So that was my thought. And probably we can connect after the session.
No,
I'm not making much more time of us. Probably, we'll brainstorm over that.
I'm with you on that. So like I said, that every event, a buy invite event is being catered very differently. An open to all event is catered very differently. And an event which is a high ticket event, like we have done events where we have created online portals where a single ticket for, like we did the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce event last year, where obviously Prime Minister Sir was there and the Vice Chancellor from Germany was here. Per ticket, every delegate that was coming to that event was buying a ticket of $225,000 INR. And all of that was getting sold on my system, along with their accommodation planning, to their logistics, to everything, and the kind of access levels that they would have. And that event was solved and catered very differently. So coming to your point, yes, every event has its own challenges like I started. Every event will have its own. Probably yours might be less complex as compared to an IGCC and a little more complexer as compared to any other open trade show. So open to exploring further. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for asking that question. So documented SOP. Now consider an event where 100,000 people and I am the head of the registration team standing on ground. Am I going to speak to 100,000 people? Possible? I mean, for that matter, I have been speaking for the last 15 minutes. How many people, and people can raise their hands. How many people who I didn't had an eye contact with? At all. I mean, everybody chooses their comfort, right? I know Naveen, so I'll say, okay, I'll keep looking at Naveen. Comfort, and I know him. Or probably then Ritika is the last bench, but I would keep looking at her. Probably the gentleman will say, "Yeah, he's not interacting with me at all. Well, I don't understand what he's saying." So that's what. So that's where we talk about the training and knowledge transfer. In a closed room, the organizer and the registration tech team talks, "Sir, sab ho jayega. आप बोलो." Every registration में confetti भी चला देंगे. Correct? But the guy who is going to do that needs training. Correct? And he needs ample time to be trained. There can be mocks that can be done. There can be like, I can just walk in like a very nasty customer and say, "I don't have a QR code, man. I'm the CEO of a company." Right? You ask me, and the guy, the poor guy does not even know this, that I am not a visitor. I am an exhibitor who has 1,000 square meters inside. He will he'll come running. "Bro, he's my client. Don't stop him. It's okay." So that's where it's a knowledge transfer. Documented SOP, every guy on the floor who is front-ending, who is representing the organizer in itself, needs to know his escalation point, level 1, level 2, level 3, and proper documentation and training. A speaker would get a red lanyard. A super VVIP might not get any lanyard, has to get a garland, right? Or a bouquet of flowers. So a lot of detailing. And trust me, so we are talking about on-site registration management. Why are we not talking about everything and anything around that? Because these are the mood spoilers. The tech is never a mood spoiler. A printer will print. A thermal printer will print a sticker. It might get stuck twice in a day because of the hardware thing. But rest of I can't find your data, sir, sorry. Oh my God. Correct. So these are mood spoilers. So if a volunteer who is probably using that device does not find the data, he needs to have content. He needs to have what he needs to communicate. I know for a matter of fact where if, sometimes you have so many QR codes for events, you end up opening the wrong QR code. And it was not allowed on my system. And then the guy who's standing there would say, "Sir, you're not allowed to the show." Oh God, I mean, you can't say that, right? So there's a lot of soft skills, there's a lot of communication, when to say what, how to say, your body language, welcoming body language. Your job is not just to scan a QR code or just print batches. You're not running a factory. You're not making a spoon factory there, right? The spoon nikal gaya, leo pakdo jao. Sorry, no. So that's where we focus a lot, customer and visitor experience. Coming to a little bit of crux model, like I said, that whatever you do online shows on-site. Log into the ticketing portal, mobile first. And trust me, everybody who is here is a part of one or the other event, one or the other show. We are from the same industry. Trust me, next time, and even if you're not doing work with us, it's fine. This is a forum where we are sharing our knowledge, right? I might know a little more, but probably there are people here, Devesh, Naveen, everybody, in their subjects, they would know more than me. That do you know that what is supposed to be the height of the booth? Do you know that SOP, Vipul, Jaju? I would sometimes say 10 feet, I would sometimes say 9 feet. Then I will look at Devesh's expression, he say, 8 feet? Really? Oh, okay. Mezzanine, 33%, 66%. I mean, because I come from the trade show days, I know a little bit. But then, so ask your partners who are doing your online registration, on-site registration, online primarily. It has to be a mobile-first approach. Payment gateway integration is a breeze these days, thanks to Razorpay taking over all the PayUs and the others of the world. An Indian company really grew fast. So Razorpay, yes. So why do you want to have those receipts? Again the marriage. You don't know how to take, or you don't devise a system which takes payment online. You would be printing receipt books, stamping, cash collection, right? And then the 5-minute challenge goes in the dustbin. Because the guy will come, he'll fill the entire form, then the volunteer will make spelling mistakes, email ID incorrect, 9-digit numbers, Marcom team database going for a toss, and then cash collection, and then at the end of the day, the finance team. Collection happened for 15 lakh rupees, 50,000 rupees pilferage. Where is the money gone? Now it's very simple, right? Hire a smart online registration company and pay them 50,000 rupees extra to make this work. Very simple, right? So whatever you do online shows up on site. So process, make the payment, or if it's a free event, WhatsApp communication goes. WhatsApp is the new email. Show your badge at the entry, collect your badge and lanyard, move ahead. Go inside the show and have fun. Do business. Free ticketing? Sure, please.
Can you integrate this to the smart bands which used to be used probably 5-6 years back?
Smart bands,
They used to have smart bands before.
RFID. Yeah, we can. But trust me, RFID is 85% accurate.
Yeah, it's not limited to a badge. That's what I said.
Yeah, it's not limited to a badge. But in India, if I don't have a badge, I would say I'm 𝐕𝐈𝐲𝐿𝐴𝐽, but you don't know that this guy is sales executive.
No, we have passed that.
I mean, we're past that stage, right? So I say that go digital, right? Where we can go to that level where if we have face recognition at the event and your photo is already there with me, which is linked to a data that you have filled at the time of registration, a guy can remove his phone, scan your face and save the contact. No digital, complete digital, no physical, no printing required. So like I said, everything is possible. I would not suggest something like this for a scale of event and deploy it for the first time at an event which is 200,000 or 100,000. But you will tell me people that we want to do this for a 2,000 people event. We are game. It's about the kind of event, the industry segment, the audience that's coming in. Free is very simple. Fill the details, take everything, send them their M-badge on WhatsApp and email, and keep sending them reminders, push notifications about whatever is building up for the show so that they stay engaged and they come to the event.
Hello, Vipul.
Sure.
Sorry
please.
to interrupt. Yeah, so
Can we close that door, please?
we are also an event technology company doing a lot of the things that
Wow.
in the check-in.
Your name, great. Your name and your company name.
Yeah, I'm Arshit, and my company name is 𝐄𝐲.io. And so I would like to understand. No, you're absolutely right about the scale of the event. We can't implement every technology of it, and RFID you said around 85% would be the success rate of something like that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, RFID, long range.
What about facial technology? What are the numbers that you're seeing? Is there any issue that you're facing?
So I'll tell you. If you ask me that, because I belong to this fraternity, and I would, if I am filling a form online, I would take a selfie and or probably I will have a photo clicked, which I always have on my desktop or maybe somewhere in my download folders, which I can quickly upload. Because I want, if they start printing photos on the badge, I want to look like that, which is about 5 years back. I don't know. I mean, that is for you to decide when you see that. So the idea is very simple. Face recognition can be done at any scale of show. We have deployed QR-based turnstile opening to face recognition-based turnstile opening to the extent coming to your invite-based. If face recognition is the source of everything that you do at the event, why doesn't the guy go to the counter, scan his face, and the badge prints?
What is the percentage of failure in this? What exactly? There's a limitation.
There is a certain percentage of failure, reason being the way the photos have been uploaded. So then there is another mechanism. Again, coming back to very important, what you do online shows up offline, on-site. So if your system is not built to reject photographs, where I would put a flower pot, and then I will go to the event and I'll say, this is the flower pot, this is my facial recognition, right, sir? Scan inside. And that flower pot, I can give it to anybody, right? I can give it to you and you can enter the show. So we have had this journey. We have been exploring this bit for about 18 months. We deploy it. Another benefit that we have working is that we do a lot of corporate events also. So anything new that we do it probably a scale of 500,000 people event, where we know that even if it fails, so obviously we don't go with the prototype. We obviously have a beta level work already done, and then we deploy at a smaller scale show, which is full-fledged. We know that it will not fail. But in case it fails, the magnitude is not that big, right? We have our backup plans. That's also going to come in one of my backup is a very important terminology that we work on. So I would cover that. So yes, deployable, case to case, face recognition. In fact, we are also coming up with absolutely cutting edge new. We launched it in December, the beta in the event, IEI Event Tech event that we did.
Now, what would be the maximum number of things you have, the attendees you have done in facial check-in? Because facial check-in is of course, it's the neural network behind it, and it's never 100% match. It'll be probably 90, 95.
It has its percentile, absolutely,
It has
100%.
its percentile.
And
So there is always a room for error.
Yeah.
And let us say if it's if you're doing it at a 500 or 1,000 people event, and the ticket cost is like 20,000 rupees, and you do error in entry, so that is very marginal case. But I feel like still, as event technology providers, we should be able to address that. And of course, an event like 50,000 people checking in, I don't think so it's feasible that fast you'll be able to process it. So where are the constraints? And if you can elaborate more on that, it'll be helpful for all the organizers also to expect what to expect from the technology as in now, and what is up for the future also.
And just a follow-up thought. For example, when I do a face recognition thing, probably when I'm taking a picture, the camera is in a different angle. Sometimes even my Apple doesn't recognize my face. And probably it's my kids who have changed it. I don't know. But then, obviously, when I use my phone and try to open it, I always have to punch in my code, basically. But I know that's my face on the phone.
Sure.
Imroz, the issue is not that it doesn't recognize you. The issue is, what if it recognizes someone else instead of you and gives you a check-in?
I need to talk to my wife.
These are very good questions, because it allows to create a forum where I would have half-cooked answers. I would have some insights into this. So we recently did an event by the name 𝐓𝐧𝐿. It's for all the Indian SaaS companies, and we host that event every year in terms of, because we also have another vertical of business where we have a SaaS product. So we tested all the face recognition, and when we were sitting on the drawing board, we wanted to do something new, because it's a community where you will have a Bay Area guy coming and looking at the new SaaS companies, SaaS startups in India, and we want to impress, right? I mean, apart from doing the mundane work, we want to impress people who are smart and who are probably smarter than us. We are fine, we accept that, right? So we did the face recognition print. And out of 5,000 people coming to that event, we probably had 30, 40 odd queries.
Yeah. So still,
right. So still
good number.
Good number, right? Now those 30, 40. So then very important insight that comes from there is probably the technology is not 100% there, which we all agree to, right? We all agree. It's in the building phase, and it's in the tried and tested phase, and then slowly, steadily it would grow. Because I know a lot of organizers who have tried face recognition based entry to large trade shows, and it has failed, because either you're ahead of time, you will have to wait for the technology to reach there. And there will be use cases, there will be case studies, and there will be a lot of knowledge and learnings that would come. So take a step back. And it's very simple. Probably at the time of uploading my photograph, I did something wrong and the technology didn't pick that. And I came to the event and now it's not printing. Or it is printing. Anybody would come in front of that camera and it would print my detail. First of all, that's hardly possible. But to a certain extent, taking that case, take a step back. No. I'm just saying that anybody out of the entire room would go and scan, it would show up. That's a data glitch. That can never be. I mean, 10 गाड़ी नहीं खुल सकती, 100% नहीं खुल सकती. That's like a tech glitch if that happens. But from a perspective, take a step back. So you didn't upload your photo. You have been invited. Show me your Aadhaar card. Let me have a look. Out of those 5,000 people, if you have those 40, 50 odd cases, it's pretty manageable. You should have a help desk. You should have a backup plan.
Depends on your rapport with the organizer also.
No, absolutely. So trust me, when you deploy anything new, see, it's always collabed and discussed and then deployed, right? I never go to an organizer and say, okay, we want to do this. I would take a step back and I say, sir, you want to do this, this can happen 100%. So, the first time we printed thermal stickers, people were kind of bemused by the idea, oh, sticker printing. We saw it globally, we liked it and we deployed it. And we were the first ones to deploy it in India. Now, there were organizers who had a lot of resistance. No, it doesn't look good, the name comes small, the QR code is big, this, that, A, B, C. The sticker does not look good. Best part, simple solution. Our director does not like it. Or it is not as per our brand guidelines. So, all of this, it's always a joint effort. when you deploy a new technology, most you need to educate because you're a partner, you're not just a service provider. It shows up for the client, it shows up for the organizer if you goof up. And even if, and then everybody has certain tolerance, you need to know what the tolerance is, right? And only play with that much of tolerance and deploy accordingly, would be my submission on that. Shall we move ahead? Does that? Yeah, thank you. WhatsApp on automation, we were one among the first ones. WhatsApp, like I said, WhatsApp. WhatsApp has now 2 layers. Every organizer has a WhatsApp account. API integrated, communication goes whitelisted. Another power that has happened, how many Marcom teams, online teams who are getting lead generation for their shows, for people to attract the right audience. Drop-off rate, where you send a link, they click, they go to a page and they don't fill. WhatsApp has a new feature which says registration on WhatsApp itself. Step 1, step 2, step 3, everything opens within the WhatsApp environment and you hit submit, you get your badge on WhatsApp. Simple. So we are although the first movers in that space, we've been doing a lot of events where registration within WhatsApp is very powerful. Event CRM, everybody has database. Database becomes redundant over the years, no telecalling, industry change. I used to be in textiles, now I'm in event tech, right? So RSVP is very important. RSVP over WhatsApp, RSVP over email, where you have a fixed audience who wants to keep coming to your show. And you want to give them the ease of quick registration where their forms and details are pre-filled. There would be certain details that you want specific to the edition, which you should take. But today, I work for Dreamcast, tomorrow I might work for somebody else. And I don't want the old company's name on my badge. So there are certain editable fields, and we have done this at large-scale trade shows, which are legacy shows in their segment, where they have database of 200,000, 300,000 people. And when we do RSVP, we know the kind of audience that comes from that database. And they have been sending, I mean, old school, they've been sending physical printed badges to those guys, just to invite them to the shows. Just imagine the amount of cost that we save in terms of doing that RSVP exercise by inviting them and giving them the ease of printing. So like I said, excellence in online registration. Later or sooner, every organizer, everybody who is managing a show and wants to focus on the more important areas of the show, which is curating the show content, right audience, more B2B matchmaking, good business, good top line numbers for the exhibitors, we'll have to adopt technology, data management, data security, scalable servers, websites going down on the morning of the show day, badge is not getting triggered. Everything that fails on-site shows the work that is being done online. System for financial reconciliation, like I said, physical cash payment, pilferage of 50,000 rupees. Razorpay does not give you any pilferage, I mean, if you do it right. Self-serve is another option. Always also look for partners who invest in research and development. At the end of the day, it's a batch vending machine. Service as such has no impact on the scale of the show, but technically has every impact on the scale of the show and the first-hand experience. And that's where we would say that always look for partners who keep doing their research and development. We pivoted after 2020, after the pandemic. And in 2 years, I would say that we are on version 5. Next year, if I come again, if I've been invited by IEIA to give a lecture, probably I would be on version 6 with my kind of hardware, my learnings, and experiences of the kind of shows. So that's where it's very important. On-ground operations planning, like I said, there are 2 different teams working in silos, and then there's a partner who comes in who says, okay, online is great, now I'll do your on-site. Wi-Fi has gone, internet capability at venues and the kind of internet that you get has gone notches above in the last few years. So if you want to see live dashboards, if you want to have internet dependency, it does no harm. But yes, like I said, that you should have a backup and super backup plan where what happens if the internet breaks. I mean, if Google can go down, internet can go down at a venue, right? So we need to have planned good homework to be done on that front. A couple of service providers, probably have alternate lease lines if everything is internet dependent. Backup, everybody plans for backup that, okay, if I don't get a Uber, I'm booking parallelly on Ola also. One car would definitely come if I have to go. But the point is, you should also have a super backup in plan, and in the event space where everything is so dynamic, there can be a desert storm. There was a storm in Delhi the other day, right? So you have to plan. So super backup plans need to be there. The intent of unparalleled services, we have all seen a duck, right, from the top in the water. There's a lot of hustling happening down there, right? Look at the calmness. Hospitality. Rooms are not getting emptied at the hotel. The guy standing at the front end desk knows that I can't give the room to this gentleman. So please sit. The registration guy can't find the QR code, can't find the data, is like sweating. Conditioning. Hospitality mindset. Everything can get solved if the training is there, if the SOPs are in place. Smartly dressed, trained volunteers, like I said, hardware planning, hardware failure. I mean, the first question any organizer, ops side of the team would say, hardware fail ho gaya to kya hoga? So, we are not the weather department. We plan. And what we plan, and we meticulously plan. If there's a certain quantum that needs to be deployed, there would be certain backups, and then there would be certain super backups. And that's how we go to any show, and we should go to any show. And supervisor teams, the guys who are managing on ground, they're like warriors, yeah? I mean, there's a lot of decisions happen in a closed boardroom, and then the guys on ground probably has started his day at 6 a.m. in the morning, didn't get breakfast, didn't get anything, but has to start the registration at 9 a.m. in the morning. He's stressed. Warriors. The mindset of these people has to be very different. They have to be agile to the fact that you are a warrior standing and you have 50,000 people coming in where you're managing on ground, and then you have your own team of 100 people or 50 people who you need to manage. Somebody is tired standing, sir, it's hurting. Sir, I'm getting a call from home, I have to go, and a lot of things. So operations is a different ball game. There are a lot of members here who are in ops who have emergencies during those show days, and they manage their emotions, they manage themselves physically, and they do a great job. So yes, very important. Moving forward, we've also done access management like we were discussing. So this kind of device can show you, it's an Android device that can show you the picture. And then obviously the turnstile, which can have a face recognition mounting on top, which can open on basis of. It's called the 𝐕𝐻𝐺 Yatra. We call it the 𝐕𝐻𝐺 Yatra. Although it's not linked to the 𝐺 Yatra, which has been a very kind suggestion, and Suraj sir has been telling me that Vipul, you should, I mean, any event you go in India, you should have like a Digi Yatra where you can just walk in and your identity is captured and you just walk in into the show. And I think that that will happen in future. We are still in the journey. But if for now, if we can crack just the 𝐕𝐻𝐺 Yatra specific to the event, in itself is going to be a good ask for the time being. No, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
I was supposed to ask some questions, and one of them is when we do something that way, you don't have to fill up anything, just walk into it, and your badge is printed.
So, I don't want to be the...
Government is soon permitting Aadhaar to private departments as well. So the moment he is able to link Aadhaar, all his forms will be self-filled.
Absolutely.
Once you are able to give your Aadhaar and QR code will be done. So this should happen this year. As of now, Aadhaar KYC is limited to banks and a few government departments.
Okay.
It has not been given to private sector.
Private sectors.
So if Aadhaar is given, then he can do it.
Super. Now we were discussing more on the visitor batches, the technology and everything. Can you just put some focus on service batches, wherein an exhibitor requires hundreds of service batches, and we as an organizer would like to recognize the people who are moving inside the venue during the setup?
Sure, 100%. Before that point, like we mentioned that a central system where all database access is there, very important. I don't know how many organizers are here. I still would want to go ahead and take the guts to say that which organizer wants to share his data? Hello. Any organizer wants to share his data for his show?
The question is actually
Yeah. So see again, the proof is that there can be technology, there can be central systems and everything. But if you ask any organizer, in terms of ballpark, like I am binded. I do so many shows. I am binded by the fact that I can't even share how many people came to which show. Forget about the data, numbers. Correct. So yes. So there's a lot of policy level changes that will happen, and as an entire fraternity of organizers, along with government initiatives and other things, mandates, things will change in the future because that's the way forward. If we look globally, there are shows which do that.
So, can we have a central system where once the information is scanned, and if you're working with two different organizers, so if you have scanned that information with organizer A, and when that same visitor goes to the exhibition B, automatically that information will pop up on the screen.
So who will hold the committee?
Huh. That's okay.
AI can do this.
We will take a step back. We'll take a step back. We have.
Or the other thing that in case the person moves from one company to another, right? So you have the old data, designation or email address,
Sure.
or his company name. So in case he registers himself for one event, and you have that whole database with you, so automatically
Vipul,
the information will
I have
be
two
saved.
I have 2 cents on this if I can add.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me make one point. Flipkart does not have the data. The entire data belongs to the organizer. They were the enabling body when they issue badges. And they cannot say that even though their data could be residing on their server, they'll offer the same data matching to another organizer.
Yeah, on the
Otherwise,
Absolutely. So there's
This is kind of data security, and you cannot.
100%. So there's compliance around that. We are binded by non-sharing clauses and agreements. Very important. Forget about the data sharing. Consider this. Everybody has been to Yashobhoomi here, right? Everybody has been to Pragati Maidan, correct? How many of us have seen turnstile systems deployed at both the shows, both the locations? There are already boomstick turnstiles, right? Outside the halls, the turnstiles, the flap barriers, right? Have you seen any of them operational? Ever? I do modular turnstiles. We go to Germany, we go to other places. It's plug and play. Internet is available, it's plug and play. Any service provider who is partnering on ground with any other online guy. So, for example, an organizer has everything online, registration, and I'm only the guy who is giving access and printing of batches, right? The venues in India. So, the first step is, so today I'm doing a 3-day show at Yashobhoomi, and then after that there's another player like me in the market who's doing the next show. Does he have a plug and play access? I mean, these are the barriers, and these are the first steps that need to be taken. What we are talking about, a central check-in system and Aadhaar, is something which is still a very longer haul, which is gonna come in future.
I have an interesting anecdote to share on this because in 2017 I saw a startup which was working on centralized health database. So it's like it's much more critical, right? You don't have to do the check-in process, and if there is emergencies, you just give the card and it does happen. They failed because the main reason is no hospital wants to lose their customer to another thing, and the data is also so private. And there are, as you mentioned, there are a lot of policies and protections to do that. So that was the thing, but it got solved now. How it's solved now is because government stepped in and they have centralized the whole thing. So until and unless there is regulations and provisions from the government to execute that, or somebody like IAIA to do that, I don't think that is possible today. Yeah.
So like we said that everything is time bound. Let's not preempt. 2008 IPL was a different ball game. 2025 IPL is a very different ball game. Everybody must have watched the Hyderabad's match yesterday. Most of us, right? At least CricBuzz खोल के या कहीं तो देखा होगा score. 9 balls to spare, 247, 246 score. I mean, believe it or not, I mean, beyond reality, but then that is how it is.
Vipul, one more thing. Like
Sure.
You have got all the registrations.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the exhibitors who gather the data on visitors book and all. So how your system helps them to gather the information?
Oh yes, we have that. Yeah.
Visitors attending their booth.
It's gonna come in my upcoming slide. We'll cover that point. Very good point. So zone access management, you have your VVIPs, you have your accurate management, you want the speaker to go in speaker lounge, you don't want any random guy to go. You have a separate zone for a buffet, a lavish buffet, then you have a separate zone for other food and ABC things. Everything can be managed over the power of a QR code. So QR code has a lot of power. Next level, we can talk about face recognition where it would recognize my face and allow, or would direct me to a particular space where, so your lunch is not here, your lunch is at some other place. Because we do have hosted buyers, delegate kits, and the delegates who come in for conferences and all of that. So, oops. Okay. Since we're talking about on-site registration management, a few beautiful setups. So this is like the contemporary traditional setup where you have queue managers. Now for your smaller categories, now what we disrupted is floaters is somebody who is probably floating with a machine in somewhere in the pre-function area. But it's still a bridge. You still need these because the person who is coming is not used to probably, he's used to get a ticket on the bus where a conductor has a sling bag and all of that, right? But he's not used to come to an event and get a ticket by somebody standing outside the gate. So it's going to be a mix. We have tried it at almost all shows that we do, and it has been a success because it's a mixed recipe right now. It's somewhere in between where people adapt and then they get thrilled as well. Oh, wow, I didn't have to stand in the queue. I got my badge like instant. So that's the wow that we give. We're also talking about DIY pods. DIY pods in Dubai or internationally, if you have an A4 fold M badge, digital badge, it's written on that please bring a print. And you will see there that people are so fine with that. Probably a director level or a founder level guy or from India who goes to attend an event in Dubai would fold that himself, put it in a pouch and wear the lanyard and go inside. India is all about managed services, right? I have been invited. I am the FUFA of the event. I need everything right here. Correct? So DIY pods, yes, good to have. Obviously, has to have assisted people. We have also disrupted that. It looks more beautiful and more classical than the classic ones, the big, bulky, touchscreen TVs and laptops and all of that. Consumables in India, in our market where we majorly work and we all work, the idea is that I need to know the guy who is coming in, whether he's the executive director of the company or he's just a sales rep. I need to know, and that's why the form factors are still, obviously it leads to a lot of wastage. And then if we talk about that, let's go all digital, then certain organizations counter, what about e-waste? So, or the digital waste, right? E-waste might not be the right term, but so, I mean, yes, I mean, it's a balancing act for now. A few operation deployment links which I can share with you guys post the presentation, the shows that we've done. We have disrupted, we've done differently, and Jaipur Literature Fest, we have the face recognition bit. Face recognition, the turnstile opens, everybody, because 19 different accurate systems. Season passes, 5-day pass, single day pass, media pass, A pass, B pass, 1+1 pass, affinity pass, and a lot of different passes. So here we have deployed and we have solved it very differently. A few case studies also that we can share with you. Very interesting. Obviously, India Mobile Congress, Jaipur Literature Fest, we've been doing regularly. World Food India also we did. OTM we've done. This is something that we did where, although I don't know how much we would, it would be useful, but then Liva was a festival which was happening in UAE, where we didn't, 700,000 people coming to a festival over a period of time. But the built-up days, accommodation and the ticketing system and the accurate system for the team which is going to build that show. Coming to your point that those 100 service passes that are required. So the kind of team, because this event was happening in a desert and they wanted a foolproof system to a person who is traveling from an X place, who's going to stay there to build the Liva festival for the next 1 month, his accommodation, his bed bunk number, in which building number, and then his laundry was also tagged. So we build systems that deep where if you have, I mean, Liva Festival is like a 700,000 people event, people coming to the event, where the built-up days were like 2 months. So they wanted that deep. So we know that that's a very big pain area where you want. It has to have more patience and more promotion. A lot of follow-ups go from the ops teams like, please fill your OEM, please fill your exhibition manual, staffing, and then, so it's more to do with how the ecosystem works currently. If you're very particular, then you will also have to have the muscle of on ground. Again, marriage between online and on ground. So you have not filled your data. The due date is gone. But we will all bend oh, it's my client. Don't print anything. Just give him 100 service batches. So it has to be a balancing act. We can't change everything at one time. We have to identify what is the most critical part, or you can layer it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and solve it accordingly. Not everything. We never go to an organizer say that we will solve everything for you. Can't be. Your show has been running for 10 years, 20 years for that matter. I mean, had it been so easy to solve, it would have got solved last year. So one thing at a time, most critical in the order of importance, can be solved. These are a few testimonials. I'll show you the second one where we delivered an event in Singapore. Coming to your point of the lead retrieval bit. Yeah. Where, oops, sorry. Okay. Vaijanti did something from there. She said, please end. Please close your times. Sorry. So hi. We are here at the Tech. So I'll quickly give you a background to this. We do a lot of direct IPs and conferences where you have to the tune of 50, 60, 70 odd exhibitors, sponsors, convex models. We do a lot of them. And we also do trade shows where you have 200, 400, 800 exhibitors, and they're peculiar. They will hire a couple of volunteer hostesses who will fill in the details and business cards and everything. And like I said, that 1 week after I meet you today, I might not remember the exact conversation that I had with you, right? At least I need to have some notes. Now, there are obviously a lot of tools, but filling those data, so picking up that, because if the registration is being managed by, so we call it the lead capture, where somebody walks into your booth, you have a good interaction. The app is available on your mobile phone. It works offline as well. You can simply scan the QR code. The basic details would be called from the server. Organizer can decide whether the mobile number has to be given or email ID has to be given based on the requirement, which can get called from our service. And you can write your notes. You can grade the lead as hot, warm, cold. You can write your notes. We've also added the voice note bit because in exhibitions, nobody has time. You can quickly say, hey, hot lead. Mr. Dhananjay Makharia is here. Very hot lead. Has good business to give. So, wants to meet next week, 17th April, something like that. So we are enabling that. I'll just quickly show you the video. And we've been doing this internationally. We've been doing it in India as well for a lot of trade shows. HR Singapore event and organize our People Matters. And you're participating as a partner, which is Ben Evolve. Yes. And how has been your experience? Since I know that you have subscribed for the Dreamcast Lead Capture app. How has been your experience? Please share your thoughts.
Yes, so we did subscribe. We subscribed a little bit late. We thought that we could rely on business cards, but the value of...
Very important point. She said that we subscribed late, so we had hosted a link where the exhibitor, the organizer, has no role to play. It's a service provided by the organizer where you can go and pay an X amount on a payment link and create your credentials and simply get the login credentials on your email, where you can simply put your email ID and put the credentials and login and start capturing leads. Most of them took, a few of them didn't take, and she was one of them who came probably about a couple of hours when the event started that, oh, I can't manage the business cards. Can I subscribe now? And she subscribed and she used it. So
being able to scan and collect leads, we found very quickly, and so within an hour we requested a scanner. The setup was very swift. It was easy to make payment, and then once we had the scanner, we were able to efficiently and effectively start collecting leads, making the day a success.
Fantastic. And particular features, you were scanning QR codes that the delegates were wearing, and you could write your notes, your quick notes about what they're interested in and how soon would they like to close, or the details about the products and services that they require.
Yeah, the user experience was very simple. There's nothing really to highlight because it was just so straightforward that you kind of go through the process. Yeah, it was just very easy to use.
So it was good, happy business networking for you?
Happy business.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The one thing I would...
So she had more to say and then we had to close. So yeah, I mean, that's... Sure. Yeah. So I'll just quickly open the floor for Q&A, last leg of... Yeah, please. Go ahead. You are the first one who's asking the question, yes.
So one of the slides had data analysis for registrations.
Sure.
And now we also showed this clip where the client can actually scan the QR code to generate that lead.
Yep.
Right? So what kind of analysis are you talking about, which you provide to the organizer?
So let me give you an example. Reporting is very subjective to how the client wants it. So there can be an architecture on reporting, the backends and all of that.
Then let me make my question a bit more
Sure.
simpler. So, I'm sure all of the organizers and exhibition organizers. When you do a post-event report, usually we want to understand out of my entire audience, the visitors I had. I want to know when did the visitor get in, when did the visitor leave the premises, or where he spent the time. For example, was it in the exhibiting area, was it in the conference area, or was it just eating food, or probably the smoking area, right? So, do you provide that kind of analysis as well?
So there is technology available, but we don't do that. I'll tell you why. So heat mapping has been a solution which has been there in the market for the longest time. There's a lot of venue build that is required pre-event, and still the data is, for example, like I said, RFID is just 85%, 90% accurate. You and me both wearing RFID bands walking out of that door at the same time. Logistically and from the ops side, I would say that if you're talking about entry and exit, first layer is you should have a separate entry and exit to that event, whatever be the size of the event. So operational floor plan decides the kind of reporting. So online you can build systems, but what is your operational reality? Wherein how tight is your operational plan? Where entry, connectivity, X hall, Y hall, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the exit. And then the tunnels and a lot of things. Now, I've seen the largest shows in India. I've seen it globally as well. Not everything is as tight. So that kind of reporting is, if it's an ask, can be done at smaller custom events, niche events with 5,000, 7,000 odd people to a certain extent, with the disclaimers. Like I said, educating the client that you want this, we can give you this, but these are the pros and cons of deploying all those
In
things.
terms of technology, whatever you are asking is available. Whether you can afford deployment is something you need to figure out. What I have seen about registration is frameworks are available for any question you may ask. Frameworks. It can be costed, but whether you find it worthwhile or not. And the core question today is that if you ask million questions, will you ever have the time to analyze those million questions? It's better to have 50 questions answered using your post-event data analysis and work on that. Otherwise, you just get confused. I know people who track how many people were sitting in each conference session. And they ask the registration people to do it 3 times in the conference session. Just imagine if you are having 40 sessions, 3 times, 120 times data being monitored, but for what? So, in terms of tracking how technology has taken place, we are in a very beautiful tipping point of the industry, where technology is no longer a barrier, but analysis of data should be made easy so that you only spend the money to get the data which you want to analyze.
So the reason why I ask this question is because when we as organizers, we want to make sure both the delegates, the sponsors, the speakers meet the objective. Again, that's the ask, right? So when the sponsors who are investing so much, whether it be buying the package or even setting up their booths, etc., at the end of the day, they want to see if in case the organizers have been able to get them what they have to.
See, no organizer can ever get to meet the requirements of an exhibition.
That's true.
So exhibitors have their own KPIs of what is measurement of their success. Organizer has his own KPI, what is measurement of their success. If we start ensuring and guaranteeing that every exhibitor will be super happy, it will never happen. And each organizer, each exhibitor comes for a different reason. Some people are coming for market entry, some people are coming for brand display, some people are coming only for expansion, and some people are coming because their competitors are coming. So I feel, and I must tell each one of you, that death by data analysis is such a big reality that a lot of people ask the registration agency to do million data points, but what next? How does it matter for you to say that this exhibitor came in this hall 7 times? He could have gone to the toilet. He could have just gone to make a phone call. He could have just said that coffee outside is hotter. Or he could have just gone to meet his girlfriend. But the data analysis would say 7 times he came. And it can give you very misleading results. The sign of a good exhibition can be seen from photographs on the show floor. And stop at that.
Fair enough, sir. I get your point. I get the logical reasoning of it. My thought is, if a sponsor or an exhibitor is in the exhibition hall, the value which I can bring him as an organizer is what I'm looking at. Because for me, at the end of the day, it's not about giving him
I agree on
satisfaction.
that. I am saying don't get involved in measurable KPIs and tell the exhibitor, I will demonstrate on an Excel file that your event was super success. But he will say, end of the day, I did not even get one valuable lead. It's bullshit. So you have to understand the expectations versus delivery. And today's data will come up with things what it has measured. And its conclusion will be on the measured data only. It can give you a lot of conflicting opinions. You have to actually analyze that and say whether it is hallucinating or whether it is in my direction. It will be still fact because he has measured it. So you can't say it is not a fact. But whether he was able to measure the full truth or half truth or 10% of the truth, he will not be able to justify.
So I'll just quickly add to the one point to that conversation. We have done events where we have deployed an event of 30,000 odd people, where all the internal halls were connected. There was one entry point in the sense one particular hall which had 4 or 5 entries so that the quantum can go inside, and there was one exit point. I completely agree and not agree with the fact that exhibitor needs data. Correct? Purely, we all entered, a lot of calls came, or probably Vaijanti must have sent messages on the group, okay, please come, right? Once the customer is in, boiling down to the customer experience bit and the industry and the geography that you are in, we started scanning. The ask from the organizer was that we want to scan at the time of exit also. 2 points, customer experience. A lot of people who were walking out and the industry segment that they're coming from, you scanned me at the time of entrance. Why do you want to scan me while going out? Point number 1, customer experience spoiled. I know for a matter of fact that we had to deploy additional 2 bounces just to pacify people because it's a process. Why? Because the organizer or the exhibitor or somebody in the war room or on the drawing board needs data. Second point, after exit scanning and that entire scenario, if you didn't have the requisite footfall at your show, and the customer experience gets spoiled. So deployments and then the operational challenges. Washrooms outside, like Sir mentioned, coffee machine outside. Exhibitors getting harrowed by the fact that every time they go out and every day they come out, they get scanned. And with the exhibitor, there would be, and then we are a nation of 1.5 billion people, right? Every time a guy walks, there are 5 more people walking next to him, which probably is to put them in order in the first place at a large scale trade show is queue management and a lot of other things. So I would submit that yes, a lot of things are possible.
Of the trade, what numbers go into a visitorship? When you say my visitorship was so much, what numbers go inside a visitorship? What all is included in visitorship? And I am talking about ISO standards. आप बताओ, when you say visitors in the event, what all is included in that? Unique visitors. So I'll make your life simpler. Does exhibitor numbers get included or not? No.
Actually, yes.
Actually, the only people whose numbers are not included in visitorship, I am saying not included, are organizer list and service partners. So now imagine you have got an event with 2,000 exhibitors, which will have 20,000 exhibitor badges, and they come to the show for 4 days. Your total visitorship will go up by 80,000. So, and I'm saying this to you because very soon III will start offering event audit services. So each one of you will have to actually agree that this is the definition of a visitorship. Okay? In gross area, what is included in gross area?
The total exhibitable area, excluding the places.
No. No.
The area which you have paid for whatever purpose you have used it, will be included in the gross area. Like for example, in Jio, the pre-function area is not included in the gross area. But if you go to Bharat Mandapam, the pre-function area will be included in the gross area.
These are the standards that we have to agree on. Somebody will be doing it differently and somebody...
ISO standards in place already, which you should agree to make the measurement equal. If somebody is not calculating exhibitor numbers, and ISO says that look, in ISO definition of numbers, they are included, then what can you do?
So even the other thing that you said, if 20,000 visitors come for 4 days, is 80,000.
I'm talking about visitorship.
Yeah, that's all.
I'm not talking about unique visitors. So I did not use the word unique.
But when it's used on a single, when you say number of visitors, now somebody quotes 20,000, somebody quotes 80,000. So yeah, it will be great if you can publish those guidelines for all the companies to agree upon and use that. That'll be great.
Very soon, because when I made the data points, so I said maybe if the exhibitor manual session gets over earlier, we'll spend some time in ISO definitions. You will learn about this because some of you are including exhibitor numbers, some of you are not. So, but then look at the ISO definition. But numbers abhi use kar rahe ho. I'm sure numbers.
So then the numbers that are used for the next year's marketing and coffee table book of a show that you go when you meet your exhibitors always has the visitorship numbers. It never has the real numbers. Agreeing to the fact that for an organizer to actually have the real numbers for some meaty analysis is required. Where we are also adding one other layer with the advent of AI. We are going to soon launch our AI-driven dashboards where you ask a question and it would crunch the numbers. You would put in, like ChatGPT would want to write content, you would write something and it would beautify and everything. So you want your answers. That's the way forward, where I wouldn't say that everything would be, I mean, a dashboard is not getting built, it's hard coded. But for your answers, right now there are multiple emails, A report, B report, dashboards. So we are working on that and should at least take your exhibitors' answers that you give notches above to what you give them right now.
Vipul, not only just about the dashboards. Yesterday we had a session on post-event report, and from that session I understood the actual importance of having a post-event report and communicating it with your team.
Yeah.
So that it's not only that we arrive at an understanding, it's all about how the team arrives at understanding and how exhibitors also understand that.
Absolutely.
So that's going to...
That's a standard norm. I mean, I am if I'm talking about from a registration standpoint, every event should, we submit a post-show report and it's like a mandate. Whether the organizer asks, does not ask, or they have their own internal teams to crunch the numbers from the backend dashboard, downloading Excel sheets or some graphs that are visible. It's a mandate because...
So I have a question on that. So how do you handle to some exhibitor pressures some organizer pressures or some government, I don't know if you directly work with government organizations. So when they want to showcase their own numbers and not the numbers that are actually there, because we have worked with few government agencies and that was the case. So how do you handle pressure in such situation, and whether you want to quote the actual numbers or do you maintain two?
He's giving only the reported data.
My job is to submit my report.
He's not making the post-show report.
The posture report is documented and
It's an
is-
internal document which
It's an
goes
internal
only to the
document.
organizer. You're not
Absolutely.
publishing it publicly anywhere.
No, we're not. I mean, we are not in that game. I am a duck. I do my work. I submit what I have to do, and then I don't get into the end game of
Understood.
ABC. I mean,
And
that's
you see, there are a lot of things which you will not understand if you don't analyze each show very deeply. Sometimes the exhibitor will keep on sending their badges to their VIP customers outside because they don't want him to know that somebody very important has come, because that will get added to the database and other exhibitors can also scan it later.
Scam हो रहा है.
आप तो organizer हो, आप ही करते हो क्या? आप ही करते हो.
oh, in fact, that's a
No,
in fact-
as a technology provider, I'm saying if this is happening behind the, that we are not aware.
So it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. A lot of organizers now are very agile to the fact that I have the capability as an organizer to invite to get a footfall of 20,000 people, and the big brands that are participating at my show are also gonna. I mean, I'm spending $500 million or probably X amount. I'm gonna at least ask my 10 top buyers to see we call it in Hindi, the झांकी. मैंने शो में पार्टिसिपेट किया है, बढ़िया बूथ बनाया है, अच्छा खाना रखा है, कुकीज रखी है, कॉफी रखी है, तो मैं मेरे 10 टॉप ग्राहकों को तो मिनिमम बुलाऊंगा. I'm just giving a very vague number, right? Now all organizers want to capitalize on that data, and now they build systems where they say, I am not sending you a hard copy invite, I am going to give you 100 magic links. Please invite your top buyers, and then that data becomes the organizer's data, and it's fair. I don't
That
see.
is still okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a
Documented data.
marketing tool.
Yeah, that is still documented.
Is when your exhibitors, I'm not talking about organizers, when your exhibitors would start telling you that I'm on a 60 square meter booth, but I need 100 badges of exhibitor listing. It should give you a red bell saying that some of their key buyers, they are inviting them as their exhibitor. Because no other organizer, no other exhibitor would like to capture a exhibitor data, but they are doing it like that. So Mr. Sharma, whose exhibitor badge has been issued, is actually a VIP buyer, but it comes under ABC company name. So you have to be careful on that.
No, when you're saying we have to be careful on that, is there something that IAA would provision on that?
IAA would never provision that. An organizer should tell exhibitors that my number of exhibitor badges are limited to X badges per 9 square meters.
So we need to communicate that on a hard terms with the organizer.
Because you should determine a reasonable number of exhibitor badges which you can issue.
So exhibitors are organizers are doing that. They're doing space-based, quantum-based matching. Plus, because it's not so that it's not a hardship for an exhibitor to invite his customers, they also give them systems where they can invite their customers with custom emails and custom magic links and all of that. And trust me, exhibitors are very happy because everything is digital. They're very easy, no hard copies and everything, and no bottlenecks at the time of a top buyer of an ex-exhibitor coming to the show and waiting for the exhibitor to come from hall number 5 with the VIP pass. Sir, welcome. Mood spoiler.
And you
Customer
see-
experience.
You have to also understand that each venue has its uniqueness. In terms of ensuring that there are no leakages of data, when I say leakage, I would say that visitor could enter without being programmed or without being captured. Geo World Convention Center is amongst the best. There is no way anybody can enter your exhibition through a secret route. I say even Yashobhumi is very nice. But in Bharat Mandapam, there are a lot of extra ways where people can enter.
You can do an entry and
No, but you see, even you can park your car inside and take the stairs to each of the halls which is there. So as an organizer, you have to know that these are other entrances which are possible. But they will be there because these are for emergency. You only need to ensure that your guards are there so that no unauthorized people can come. And we have seen this several times. I'll give you one example at Bharat Mandapam. You may say that we have given all the parking passes which are free to our exhibitors or a few of your visitors. So the car parking pass was one, but in the same car 6 people can sit. So once you have given them an access कि sir आप जाओ आपकी VIP pass है, if they go up 6 of them, they are untagged. So what will you do? Again, in some shows, we are seeing that the data measurement is happening at the venue gates. So, gate 1, gate 4, gate 10, you are scanning and doing data measurement. But there are 4 gates where people can enter, where no data measurement is happening. And you are not measuring data at each of the hall entrances. So obviously your numbers will get skewed. He can only give you data which he has been able to measure. And sometimes there are shows that unmeasured data could be as high as 50%. Especially in B2C shows where there is a public announcement, there is so much crowd at times that it is physically not possible to issue badges or for security to man them. I'll not take show names, but you would know when it is a public entry and say everybody is welcome. I would feel 50% of data is leaked. Leaked means not captured.
Extremely valid point, which I probably sir has now mentioned. Operational planning, multiple gates. When we sit on the drawing board and we make plans where we will plug all the gates and then the halls. In my experience of the largest of the shows that we have done or what I have attended as well, operational planning has to be absolutely watertight, whether you have a bouncer, whether you have a security, whether you have a checkpoint where I'm okay that the batches are getting printed inside, but like JWCC has a count of the people for visitorship, whether you capture them inside, you give them a badge or no, they can give you a measured count of JWCC that how many people in the 3 days entered the venue unique is a kind of system that they have where they count and the visitorship overall. You can probably have an analysis where how many have you actually captured in terms of your registration or the paid registrations or free registrations. Now, there can be a lot of deployment that can happen where if I am at IEML and there are multiple gates and I'm scanning those gates to see the count of people who are coming inside the venue itself, and then I have the hall entrances, and then I obviously have my registration numbers of the data that has been registered and captured. That data science should be helpful for organizers in terms of plugging and planning that operational plan in a very different way. One show can learn from another show. One edition can learn, the next edition can learn from the last edition, provided you invest in that in terms of getting these numbers in the first place.
So data science is a tool. It is not a solution. What Vipul and the registration agencies are doing, they are helping you measure what you want them to measure. But they will not be able to ensure success of your event. They will not be able to give you any evidence that event was super successful. That evidence is only being given in the rebooking hall where your exhibitors are saying we are signing up for next show. That is the only measurement I know. Otherwise, he can give you any convincing arguments, but if the exhibitor said maza nahi aaya, all this is gone for a toss. So please keep that in mind. Vipul, we have another session coming.
Sir, absolutely. Thank you so much. So official closing. Thank you everyone
Thank you
for the
Vipul
time and
ji.
energy and the patience.
One